everyone, this is Miss Phyllis again from the Spooky Public Library, and I'm going to share another recipe with you, and this time it is a fun recipe. We're going to make peanut butter brownies, which are really yummy and delicious, and this recipe only calls for very few ingredients, so it's really simple. And your ingredients that you're going to need is 1 box of Devil's Food cake mix. It could be any brand that you like to use. 1/3 of a cup of margarine or butter, which I've already cut off my 1/3 of a cup, put it in a bowl, 2 eggs, and then we're going to need a cup of peanut butter chips. And that's all we're going to use in this recipe. I'm going to go ahead and open up my cake mix, and I'm going to put it in my bowl. Okay, so we got our cake batter in our bowl and our butter, and now we're going to put our 2 eggs in. We're going to break them open and put them in one at a time, just to make sure the eggs are good. And it gets a little hard to stir at times because this is all the liquid and everything that goes in here. So we're going to get those eggs broke up. We're going to start getting it all incorporated. And so you just keep mixing until it's all mixed in, and you're going to feel like your arm can't do any more stirring because it gets kind of hard. And it's going to kind of come together into like a big dough ball. Just keep mixing. So I hope everyone is practicing their cooking skills while they're in at home. And I am looking forward to the day when we can have our cooking back at the library again, so I can see all your faces. And it's much easier when I have help to make our ingredients, mix our ingredients. So, okay, it's about to get there. And you're thinking, we need to preheat the oven to 350 degrees. And so get that going. Good and mixed. Now we are going to measure out 1 cup of our peanut butter chips. So I'd like to say a big thank you to my husband, Darren, for filming while I am doing all of this, and then another big thank you to Mr. G at the library, because I sent him the raw clips and he edited the first one, and I will send him the raw clip with this one, and he will edit it and do his magic so that it comes together and makes sense for you all. So we're going to stir those all in. So we'll get this in, we'll get it spread out in our cake pan, and don't want to waste any of that delicious dough, so we'll get it in there as much as possible. We're going to smush this out into our pan and get it as even as possible, and it's going to be a little bit thin, but once it gets in there and starts baking, it will fluff up. And then for the frosting, we're going to use just a canned frosting. You can use vanilla or cream cheese or whatever you like. We're going to add some peanut butter and milk to it. And I like to call it peanut butter fluff because it is just heavenly. This is a recipe that can easily be changed to some other flavors. You can put in caramel chips or little pieces of caramel instead of the peanut butter, and then the frosting you can just either leave that off, or you can change it to something that you like that would go with caramel. You could put a chocolate frosting on and drizzle it with some caramel on top of the frosting. So we got that all smushed down and got it pretty much in our pan as evenly as I can, and it will kind of fill in and bake in a little bit better. We're going to get the oven to 350 degrees. Once it goes in, it's going to go in for 16 minutes. So once it comes out of the oven, it'll cool for an hour before we can put the frosting on. Just going to put it in the oven. I'm going to turn my timer on for 16 minutes, and then I'm going to check it and make sure that it is not too gooey. I like my brownies a little bit gooey. I don't know how you all like your brownies, but I always kind of, when I do a brownie recipe, I always undercook it just a little bit because I like them a little bit gooey.
Okay.
Alright, our 16 minutes has passed, so I'm going to do a quick check and just make sure it's done. Oh, that looks very good. Yum, yum, yum. We're going to let it sit here and cool. I'm going to set the timer for about an hour, and then we'll come back and we'll put the frosting together and put on top of there. I am going to mix up our frosting. So first thing we need is our can of frosting. And we'll just scoop this off into our bowl. Okay, so there's our frosting in the bowl. Then we're going to measure out 1/3 of a cup of peanut butter. Okay, so we'll measure out 1/3 of a cup of peanut butter. We eat a lot of peanut butter in our house, so peanut butter doesn't last long, so we buy the big jars. And I just scooted that down, so I'll move it back. We're going to mix that all in to our, this is the handy thing about this, is because you can just do that and just scrape it right off into, it's good for sticky stuff. A couple of tablespoons of milk, which that's the big spoon on your measuring spoon. So we're going to do 2 of those. So this is a dessert that if you don't eat it all in one day, you are definitely going to want to store it in your refrigerator. Now we're just going to mix everything together till it's nice and fluffy. And kind of incorporate it all in. Okay, so we got it all mixed up. Now we're going to put it on our brownies. I just pour it on. But once you get everything in, then we're just going to spread out the love here onto our brownies. Just kind of make it look pretty as you want. I kind of like the little swirl designs myself. And this is something that you could probably decorate with chocolate shavings. If you have some chocolate bars that you want to shave up with like a peeler, or something of that nature, by most definitely. And then I like to drizzle it with some chocolate syrup. And I hold it up above the brownie just a little bit. Once it starts coming out, I kind of do that. It makes a mess on the counter, but I can clean that up, and then it is good to go. You can sprinkle it with little miniature chocolate chips on top if you want, or little mini Reese cups. I think they have those now. You can sprinkle on top, or most definitely can make it for Easter and put some of the Easter egg-shaped Reese's on top, and then just slice them when you serve your brownie. You can serve it with ice cream as well. So I hope all you all have fun cooking out there, as much fun cooking as I do. I love to bake and cook, and so we will see you on the next video. So see you later, and happy cooking.